If there is a Toyota sitting on a forecourt near you right now and nobody will buy it, that is the one you want. It costs nearly £40,000. New. You can have it today for around £22,000. Same badge people queue up for. Same 10-year warranty. Same dealer network. And the one weakness that scared everybody off does not apply to you at all if you are retired and doing 20 miles a day. 3 Toyotas? Nobody wants. 3 down to 1. Number 3, the Toyota Corolla Cross. This is the Toyota that Britain looked straight past. Everybody walked into the showroom, saw the Yaris Cross, saw the CHR with the sharp creases and the fancy paint, and bought one of those instead. The Corolla Cross sat there looking like a sensible shoe. That is exactly why I am starting with it. Look at what it actually is. It is a Corolla underneath, raised up, with a proper tall body on it. The seat sits at hip height, which is the single most important measurement on this entire list, and almost nobody in the motoring press ever mentions it. You do not climb up into it, and you do not drop down into it. You open the door, you turn, you sit. If your hips or your knees have opinions in the morning, that one detail is worth more than any amount of horsepower. The glass is deep, the pillars are not stupidly thick, and you can actually see out of the thing in all directions. 425 litres of boot. It swallows a folding wheelchair, a set of golf clubs, or a fortnight's shopping without argument. Now the mechanical bit, because this is where the money is. The engine is a 2.0-litre petrol hybrid. Around 194 brake horsepower. Toyota quote just over 52 miles per gallon, and Autocar measured close to 55 on a mixed road test in bad weather, which tells you the official number is honest rather than optimistic. But forget the fuel figure for a second and look at what is not in the car. There is no turbocharger. There is no belt running inside the engine in the oil. There is no diesel particulate filter to block up on short journeys. There is no clutch because the hybrid gearbox does not have one. There is no dual mass flywheel being shaken apart by a rough diesel because there is no diesel. The brakes barely wear out because the car slows itself on the electric motor most of the time, and the pads only really get used at the very end of the stop. I have Corolla hybrids come through the workshop with 130,000 miles on them still on their original brake discs. That is not a sales line, that is what I see on the ramp. It drones under hard acceleration, and it is not the quietest thing on a motorway at 70. That is the price of admission. Now, the money, and this is the bit that matters most for anybody on a fixed income. A routine service at a main dealer sits in the £200 to £300 bracket, depending on which service is due. That is not nothing. But here is why you pay it anyway. Toyota run a scheme called Relax. Every new Toyota comes with 3 years or 60,000 miles of manufacturer warranty. Then, every time you have it serviced at an official Toyota centre, they add another 12 months or 10,000 miles of cover again and again until the car is 10 years old or has done 100,000 miles. It applies to used Toyotas too. It does not need a perfect previous history. There is no form to sign. Think about what that means at your age and mileage. A retired driver doing 8,000 or 9,000 miles a year will hit 10 years of age long before they get anywhere near 100,000 miles. That is a decade of manufacturer-backed cover for the price of an annual service. Now put that next to the alternative, the small turbocharged petrol crossover that everybody is buying instead. That car has a turbo, direct injection, and in a lot of cases a cam belt that runs inside the engine in the oil. Turbo replacement runs from about £900 to £1,500. The wet belt service is around £1,000 and it is not optional. Carbon cleaning on the intake is £300 to £600 and it comes back. One of those bills wipes out 5 years of the difference in service costs, and you will not have a warranty when it lands. Boring, that is the whole point. The Corolla Cross is the one nobody wants because it does not look like anything. Number 2 is the one nobody wants because Toyota gave up on it entirely, and it is now the most car you can buy in Britain for the money. I am Roy Stroud. 45, 22 years in independent workshops in the Midlands, never worked for a dealership in my life. Nobody pays me to defend a design decision, and no dealer is paying me to shift these 3 either. Hit subscribe. This one could genuinely save somebody a lot of money on their next car. None of this is my opinion. It is Toyota's own published warranty terms and the used listings anyone can look up today, plus what comes through the door of an independent workshop every week. Number 2, the Toyota Highlander. Be honest with me, had you even heard of it? Most people in this country have not. And that is the entire reason it is on this list. Toyota brought the Highlander to Britain in 2021, sold a handful, and then quietly pulled it. Toyota's own website now says it plainly. You can no longer buy a new Highlander. It lasted about 2.5 years here. So, what did we all miss? A 7-seat hybrid SUV, nearly 5 meters long, with a 2.5-litre petrol hybrid engine making around 241 brake horsepower, all-wheel drive, and a boot that holds 658 litres, with all 7 seats in use. Fold the middle row and you are close to 1,900 litres. It will tow 2 tonners. It cost the best part of £50,000 when it was new. Here is what a mechanic sees when one comes in on the ramp, and it is a very short list of worries. The 2.5 is a naturally aspirated petrol running the Atkinson cycle, chain-driven. No turbo, no belt to change, no injectors running at diesel pressures, no particulate filter to regenerate. It is bolted to the same style of hybrid gearbox that Toyota has now put in millions of cars worldwide. There is no clutch pack in there, there is no torque converter. It is a set of planetary gears and 2 motors. There is essentially nothing in it that wears out in the way a normal automatic does. And because it is a petrol car, it drives into the London ultra-low emission zone and every clean air zone in the country and pays nothing. No charge, no argument, no worrying about what the next city announces. It is enormous, and if your local multi-story has tight bays, you will not enjoy it. That is the honest limit on this one. Fuel. It is a big, heavy hybrid, so realistically you are looking at the mid-30s to the high 30s for miles per gallon, rather than the 50s you get in the Corolla Cross. If you do 15,000 miles a year, that gap matters. If you do 8,000, it does not. Now the money, and this is where it gets interesting. There were never many sold here, so at any given moment there is only a small handful of them advertised across the whole of the United Kingdom. That sounds like a problem. It is actually why they are cheap. Nobody is searching for a car they have never heard of, so the ones that come up for sale sit there and the price comes down to meet the silence. You're buying a £50,000 7-seat SUV for a fraction of what it cost, and because it was only sold here from 2021, plenty of them are still comfortably inside that 10-year relax window. Let me tell you about a customer of mine, because this is the whole argument in one invoice. He had a German 7-seat diesel. Lovely thing. Over about 3 years it had a particulate filter, an exhaust gas recirculation valve, a set of glow plugs, and then the timing chain started rattling on a cold start at 90-odd thousand miles. That last job alone was quoted at over £2,000 because on that engine you are going in from the back. His running total across those 3 years was north of £5,000 on a car worth about 11. He asked me what to buy. I told him to look for a Highlander. He found one 200 miles away because of course he did. Since then it has had tyres, brake fluid, 2 services and a set of wiper blades. That is the list. Skip it if you cannot live with the size or if you genuinely need 60 miles per gallon. That is what number 3 is for. Which brings us to number 1, the biggest pile of money sitting on any Toyota in Britain right now. And it comes with one catch which for about half of you watching does not exist at all. Quick favour before we get there. If this has already made you rethink what is on your shortlist, tap like. Costs you nothing and it helps this reach somebody about to spend 20 grand on a car that will cost them 2 grand a year to keep. Cheers! Number 1, the Toyota BZ4X. Yes, the electric one. Stay with me because the arithmetic on this is almost unfair. Toyota could not sell these. The name means nothing to anybody. The early cars charged slowly on a motorway compared with the competition. Then the government grant landscape changed, the used electric market wobbled, and everybody panicked at once. So the price fell through the floor. A new one starts at just under £40,000. Used, the trade guides put most of them between about £22,000 and £29,000, depending on age, battery and mileage. That is a nearly new £40,000 Toyota SUV for the price of a new Super Mini. Now let me tell you what one of these looks like from a workshop point of view, because this is the part that never makes the adverts. There is no oil to change, no filter, no spark plugs, no cam belt, no cam chain, no clutch, no turbo, no particulate filter, no exhaust system at all, no injectors, no fuel pump. The brakes last an extraordinarily long time because the car slows itself on the motor. The annual service on one of these is a cabin filter, brake fluid on schedule, a look at the coolant, a tyre check and a battery health check. That is it. That is the whole thing. And here is the part almost nobody knows, which is why I have put this car at number 1 instead of number 3. Toyota guarantee the battery will hold at least 70% of its capacity with an 8-year or 100,000-mile manufacturer warranty on the traction battery as standard. Then, on top of that, there is a battery care program that extends cover up to 10 years of vehicle age, activated by an annual battery health check at a Toyota centre. It runs to mileage figures no private owner in this country will ever get near. So the single thing everybody is frightened of, the battery, is the thing with the longest warranty on the car. And the real-world numbers back it up. Fleet data on modern electric cars shows something like 1.5 to 2% capacity loss a year. On this car, that means a 5-year-old example is typically sitting around 90% of its original health, which is roughly 240 miles of realistic range against about 270 when new. Batteries almost never drop dead. They just very slowly carry a little less. Now the catch, and I am not going to soften it. This is an electric car and its weaknesses are real. Rapid charging on the earlier cars is slower than rivals. In cold weather, the range comes down noticeably. If you live in a flat with no driveway, no garage, and nowhere to plug in, walk away from this one. It is not your car, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But think about how most retired people in this country actually drive. The shops, the doctor, the grandkids, the garden centre, church on a Sunday, 20-30 miles a day, and a longer run every few weeks. You plug it in at home overnight like a phone, and every single morning it is full. Here's the arithmetic, and this is the whole video in one sum. On a cheap overnight electricity tariff, most home charging owners are running at somewhere around 2 to 4 pence a mile. A petrol car doing 40 miles per gallon at current pump prices is roughly 15 to 17 pence a mile. Say you do 8,000 miles a year. That is somewhere between £900 and £1,200 a year back in your pocket before you have serviced anything. Now let me give you the invoice because I promised you a real one. A customer of mine, 68 retired postman, was running a diesel SUV that he bought because somebody told him diesels were the sensible choice. In 2 years, it had a particulate filter at £1,400, an exhaust gas recirculation valve at £680, and then a turbo actuator fault that was quoted at £900 and change. He had spent nearly £3,000 keeping a car on the road that was worth about £7,000. He part-exchanged it for a used BZ4X. He has a granny charger and a cheap overnight tariff. In 18 months, it has had 1 service, 1 set of tyres, and a battery health check that came back at 94%. 2 things before you go looking. 1. Get the battery state of health read before you buy. Any electric specialist can pull it off the car's own management system in minutes, and it turns guesswork into a measured fact. Never buy a used electric car without it. 2. These do pay road tax now. The rules changed in April 2025, and electric cars are no longer exempt, and cars that cost over £40,000 new can attract the expensive car supplement for a period. Check the exact car's tax position before you sign because it varies by registration date and list price. £40,000 of car, £22,000 of money, almost nothing to service, 2 pence a mile, and a battery with a longer warranty than most engines get. Nobody wants it because of a range figure that most people watching this will never actually use. Quick recap. 3. The Toyota Corolla Cross. 2. The Toyota Highlander. 1. The Toyota BZ4X. Here is the honest takeaway. Every car on that list is cheap for a reason, and not one of those reasons is mechanical. Wrong shape, wrong name, wrong fuel, according to whatever the headlines were shouting 3 years ago. The market prices, reputation. The workshop prices, reality. The gap between those 2 things is where your money is sitting. So do 2 things before you buy anything, and they cost you nothing. First, ask what the expensive failures are on that exact engine and get a price for each one. Turbo, belt, chain, particulate filter, gearbox. If the likely bills over the next 3 years add up to more than the car is worth, you are looking at the wrong car, no matter how smart the badge looks on the driveway. Second, if it is a Toyota, ring a Toyota centre with the registration and ask whether that car is still eligible for the relaxed service activated warranty and how many years of eligibility are left before it turns 10. It takes 1 phone call. On a used car, it can be worth more than every extra you will ever be sold in a showroom. Now, I want to hear from you. If you have run a Toyota hybrid past 100,000 miles, Tell me the mileage and tell me what it has actually needed. Real numbers from real owners are worth more to the person reading these comments than anything a brochure will ever promise them. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Look after it, and it will look after you. This video is based on publicly available manufacturer statements, published warranty terms, reliability surveys, and independent trade evidence current at the time of publication. Individual vehicle outcomes vary. Prices, tax rules, and warranty terms change, and some models may have had subsequent updates, recalls, or improvements. Nothing here is a substitute for a qualified inspection of your own vehicle. Always obtain current information and independent advice before making any purchase or repair decision.